Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers. Hey family, it's King Simon, the founder of Numerovation. Remember, if you want to book a session with me and get a Numerovation consultation, all you have to do is text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. And if you want any of my books, go to linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. That's King Simon the Numerovator. And your books are available on Amazon. Remember, I'm the El Numero Uno, the Numerovator himself. And if you want to book a session, all you have to do is text me. Make sure you get my books on Amazon. I love you. Peace. Hello, boys and gals, and all you great ones out there. Stay focused, stay focused. Symbolism of triangles are very important to have around. Triangles are very good symbols, and it's the symbol of the three. That's right, the three. The triangle represents the trinity of man, woman, and child. So it's all right. It's all right. Stay focused. I decided to use this filter here. And today is the Day of Atonement. So big up to all those brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam that are celebrating, of course, since 1995, the Day of Atonement today. So if you take away 2023, take away 1995, it's 28 years of the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement. So big up to Minister Farrakhan and all of his Nation of Islam that in 1995, they brought 1 million men to the lawn of Washington, D.C. And some people may say things didn't happen, but no, I can attest that there's a lot of benefit that came out of that. Brothers started connecting with their children more, started connected to their women more. And the residue of it, it may not be promoted heavily, but it does exist. So big up to Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings and the teacher of this day and time, Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is 90 years of age in this year. Right now, he's 90 years of age, still speaking strong. And Brother Ishmael delivered a great message at NOI.org. All right, so you see the topic for today. And because 16 in numerology it's one of the numbers that is considered a karmic number. You know, it's one of the numbers that is considered a karmic number. So, and the 16 in numerology is not just the number of creativity, which is the 1, and the 6 deals with balance and harmony. And if you read my book, I touch on it. I touch on what the 16 really means. Madaraka, what's up, girl? How you doing, sister? And because the 16 is a very powerful number. Some it's in certain systems, the 16 is a karmic number. And remember, the word karma only means cause and effect. Cause and effect. Yes, please share this. Don't worry. The triangles are just a reminder of the symbolism of life. Triangles, circles, squares, all of that is all symbols. And numbers are symbols, are representation of symbols. You know, love you, my friend. Loving you. Miss you too, girl. Miss you. Good freak friend. Good freak. You're funny. You don't know me like that, Madaraka. A good freak friend, huh? Whatever. You're funny. In my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, I speak about the number 16 being the spiritual victory number or defeat, because there is duality. There is, oh God. Exactly. So in my book, I say number 16 is the symbol of spiritual victory or defeat. There's duality, depending on its physical use in this realm. Today being the Day of Atonement, it was a victorious day for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's putting forth 28 years ago what we call the Million Man March. Very good. We was all there. It was a very enjoyable occasion. And what is so interesting is that brothers coming together from all over the world, uniting 28 years ago on the lawn of Washington, D.C., people coming from everywhere. It's powerful event. Even if you watched it on television and couldn't make it, heard it on radio, you can hear the theatrics of the mind that while people was getting on the bus and Gary Bird was on radio, WLIB, WBLS, speaking and talking life into what he was broadcasting on the lawn of Washington, D.C. 28 years ago at the Million Man March. Enough respect to the Nation of Islam and every organization that was involved. It was really a helpful event. Although you have your detractors and all that, I can attest that it was a very helpful and meaningful event to see men come together and work together as one at that particular time. And then coming back again 20 years later, I was there for the 20 years later, ran into people like Luciano, the reggae artist, ran into, of course, a lot of different people from different organizations. But the number 16 in my book, and I talk about it in Numerovation for Mental Stability. You can get it on Amazon or you can buy it through my link tree. It's good to go to my link tree because the clicks and the analytics let me know how many people are coming to actually get or buy or purchase books on my link tree /King Simon the Numerovator. So the symbol of 16, today is the 16th, is a symbol of spiritual victory or defeat depending on its physical use in this realm. The number 16 is a vibration of creativity, balance, love, and spiritual insight. In other studies of the symbol, the 16 is a number of the cosmic consciousness struggling to break through man's thoughts of material ambition and brings them to naught in order that he or she may build again. Number 16, people are considered highly spiritual leaders of their homes, and planning things out should be of utmost importance in order for them to succeed on any level. The number 16 can be very deep in thoughts, intuitively wise, very analytical and observant. 16 should always research and know the pros and cons of people, places, and things before they make their moves and connections. The number 16 person should avoid being arrogant, self-righteous, deceitful, antisocial, negatively secretive, and they should also stay away from suppressing their feelings, which can lead to depression. And they must learn to evade energy drainers or vampires. In the study of tarot, the number 16 is called the Tower. It symbolizes the overthrow of self-ambition, and it depicts as the tower struck by lightning from which a man is falling with a crown on his head. It is also called the Shattered Citadel. The number 16 gives warning that plans must be made in advance in order to prevent fatalities in the future. So, in my book, I discuss the number 16 in a very, very interesting paragraph. And the important part of using a number for yourself, because remember, I'm teaching a class called Applied Numerovation, and that's going to be happening on the 28th of October. Tickets are on sale through my Linktree, and you can go through the description or the profile section of IG. Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. Please share this. I'm saying this because when you read books like mine, you have to not just apply it to people that are born on the 16th, but also where your name might add up to a number 16. Any one of your names, wherever the 16 show up, wherever it shows up, even in the connection between the month and the day, or the year might add up to a 16. You always should look directly for the guidance perspective in any book, because remember, you can tap in to any one of the numbers at any given time, because numbers came through us to remind us, to help us to recall who us is. It's not here to control you, it's here to guide you like a GPS until your internal GPS gets back online. That's all numbers and astrology is all about, until your internal GPS get back online. Because if man and woman, original man and original woman, was created to have dominion over all the earth and all the beasts and all the beasts of the earth and the animals of the sea, then we was walking in our godhood at one time, in our allhood, our Allahhood at one time, because Allah just means all within all. That's all it means. And Alat means the feminine part of Allah. That's the duality, the all within all, Allah and Alat. Dr. Ben taught us about Alat back in the day. They removed Alat from it and just made it a masculine, but it's Allah and Alat. So it's not surprising that the feminine part of Allah is Alat, because when you have a feminine energy and man introduces his phallic symbol into woman, then they bring about a lot. They could bring about 1 child, 2 child, 3 child, 4 child, 5 children. It's all about Allah and Alat, the masculine and the feminine. It was those corruptive Arabs that removed the Alat from the Allah principles of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, only adhering to the divine masculine instead of bringing back the balance of Allah and Alat. Hey, according to the history of when they decided to remove things from history. A very good book to go and get. And I've been talking about her lately. Something's going on with her. If I'm talking about her, I'm feeling her energy. And this book is by Suzar, the great black mama of creation. And she talks about Allah and Alat in this book. You can go get this book at African World Press in Baltimore. Just Google up African World Press and you can get this book called The Great Black Mama of Creation. Alat, 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 Allah, Alat, Allah, Alat. Same word, one is just feminine and one is just masculine. All right, so the topic today. Alexa, pause. Alexa, pause. I don't know, Alexa coming on with news. I don't know nothing about no damn news. She want to come on with news out here. Now, the topic is today is based off of a song that we all heard and loved years ago with Whitney Houston singing The Greatest Love of All. So, and part of the song, it says, decide never to walk in anyone's shadow because the greatest love of all is inside of you. And I'll say it live and direct right now. And at that part it says, I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. I took this particular title from that song, The Greatest Love of All, because we all have to decide never to walk in anyone else's shadow. You can be guided by a shadow. You can be guided by somebody else. You can be guided by your mother. You can be guided by your father, but don't walk in their shadow. Walk in your own light of who you are, because the greatest love of all is inside all of us. And why you should not walk in somebody else's shadow, you can, like I said, learn from them. You can learn from the great women of history, the great men of history, the great ones of history, but don't walk in their shadow to try to be them. Be your own self and lay a trail. Be your own great self, because every one of us have an individual handprint, individual eye retina, individual footprint, individual frequency, vibration that when our mothers and fathers came together, then that Big Bang happened in the womb of mother. So mother, you was the fostering embodiment of the Big Bang inside of you. So decide never to walk in anyone's shadow. You can learn from Queen of Four. You can learn from Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. But at the end of the day, you take the information from a Queen of Four, from a Frances Cress Welsing, from whoever is teaching, a man or a woman, and walk in your own light, not in the shadows, because the greatest love of all is already inside of all of us. So when Whitney Houston sang, because the greatest love of all is inside of me, it's inside of us already, brothers and sisters. So decide never to walk in anyone's shadow. It's too dark and to be inside. That's why I couldn't stay in someone's community for too long. That's why I couldn't stay in an Ansar community under Imam Isa or Dr. York. That's why I couldn't stay in a 5% nation under Clarence 13X, although he was already passed on, but I couldn't stay under one of my enlighteners for too long. I couldn't stay in the Nation of Islam for too long, because I had to decide never to walk in anyone's shadow. And there's nothing wrong with getting into organization to find yourself. If that's what you need, some people need organization. But I can take the principles of any organization and decide my own fate, decide my own guidance, because the greatest love of all is inside of me. It's inside of you. Do not forget that. And I want everybody to listen, because today is the Day of Atonement, according to the Nation of Islam and what they started back 28 years ago in 1995 on the lawns of Washington, D.C. back in the day. And atoning is a form of healing. And sometimes we got to learn to heal ourselves by not deciding to follow under the shadow of somebody else, but deciding that finally I recognize that the greatest love of all, the word Allah or Allah means the all within all, both masculine and feminine. Allah is the masculine, Alat is the feminine. And like I said earlier, they removed Alat. It's just like they got the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit must be the feminine energy. It's not, it can't, because Father don't make Son by himself. So it had to be the balance. So if back in the day, those disagreeable Arabs, pale Arabs, removed a lot, the feminine, from the masculine. That's like taking your wife away from the man, taking the wife away from the husband when you remove a lot from Allah. So going back to the point, many of us are caught up following other people. Some of us back in the day joined gangs and organizations to follow or try to become the leader of that organization, when no matter what organization or religious group that you may be part of, if you study the history or the herstory of that religious leader over that group, or that person that put themselves or was pushed to a celebrity status and celebrated over that group, every time I read the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, or read the teachings of Moses, peace and blessings be upon him, or read the teachings of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, each one of those teachings is reminding you of the greatest love of all within yourself, and they're giving you an example of what you need to strive to become. You don't be them, you become follow the example of them so you can lead your own life. For I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they say about me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is inside of me. It's inside of you. And once you understand that the greatest love of all is inside of you and you and you and you and you and all of you inside of there, there's nothing that you can't do and that you can't accomplish. Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. It's the new motivational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and the powerful. When in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, motivation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class.